Hello everybody, welcome to part 15 of Monty's ongoing restoration. If you remember from part 14, we was hiding in the shed, sheltering from the miserable British winter. And we was working on this switch panel, which as you can see, and if you remember, it was all seized up and generally in quite a bad state. So we got it all stripped out, and then we was going to start sorting out and putting it back together. We wanted to salvage the terminals off the end of the cable, and here we are working on those. Rubber grommets come off first. I'm not worried about the little identifier tags that are there. We're going to print some new ones. So just simply pop them in the vise and pop them off, collect them in a little pot, and they can get cleaned up later. The terminals themselves are soldered on the end of the wires, so we quite simply burn them off and chuck them in a little pot of water, cool them down. That's the first four done. Cables can go in the bin, don't need them. Next, and you've got a bit of a production line going here, just working on the cables. Once you've got all the terminals off, I'm going to pop them in the vise, just carefully, not crushing it. I'm going to drill the middle out, get rid of the old solder. I'll do this carefully. That's a 1.5mm drill bit, that. It's rather easy to break. So we just want to clean the dirt and the solder out the middle and get them ready to go onto the new cables. Once again, bit of a production line, one after the other. And it does take quite a while, but well, it's got to be done, isn't it? On the case itself, got everything cleaned up now. I'm starting to put it back together. You've got the ignition switch on the left hand side and the little panel light rheostat sitting in the top. That was all seized up before, and we've got that all freed off and turning nicely. We've put a key barrel in that ignition lock. Militants don't normally have them, but I like to fit them. A little bit more safety. Here's our main panel, the new starter switch. Headlamp switch is all cleaned up nicely, and the ignition barrel is on the right hand side there ready to fit. And once it's all lined up, just juggle it about and pop it back into the case. And as you can see, yeah, it's a bit fiddly getting it in. You don't want to force it, don't want to break anything. Get it all seated in nicely, make sure everything's locked in. And then screw it up with its mounting screws. You have to excuse the poor quality video here. The sun's actually started shining and it's beaming in the window and reflecting off my white glove. And I didn't realise at the time, it was sort of spoiling the video a bit. Anyway, we're all locked in, so we turn it over and fit our knobs back on the front. Now we've got them all cleaned up. Got new locking caps there, and salvage them from another one. Oh, let's try it. I don't like that starter switch. That's not very nice at all, that wobbling about. It keeps getting stuck. So we'll have to investigate that. Headlamp switch, that is stuck solid. I can't move that at all. So I don't know what's gone wrong there. Again, we'll have it apart and we'll see what's gone wrong. Never mind, we're good at getting it apart now. And now it's all cleaned up, comes apart easy. Well, here's the starter problem. If you can see, I'll just get a little pointy stick thing. Here we go. Right, you've got a little circlip there, and that's holding in a steel washer. And underneath that is two plastic collars that support the switch. And if you look at this bottom edge, that's all well worn away with many years of starting the engine. I dread to think how many times that start lever's been pulled in all the years. So we need to do something about it. So pull the old bits out, and I managed to salvage a fresh pair of collars from a scrap unit I had. I've used the headlight ones because they're the same size and they'll have a lot less wear than a starter switch. So 2 grommets going in, steel washer, and then that circlip, which I managed to drop. Be careful it doesn't ping off around the workshop. That's all fitted in nicely. Scratch the paint a little bit, so we'll have to touch that up. But we'll put the levers back on and put it back together and see if it's better. Right, here we go. That's a much nicer switch. Yeah, that's better. I never did find what was wrong with the headlamp switch. It all seemed to work when I took it apart, and it's working now. It's gone back together, so that's the result. Panel light turns all right, and our ignition barrel, put the new key in. Nice healthy on and off click there. Once it's off and you take the key out, that comfortably locks. I'll save anybody messing about with it when we're at shows in a few years' time. Right, it's all back together. Let's have a check with the meter now and see if it all works. Are we connecting where we want to connect? So I'll start by checking that headlamp switch first. So one click to the left should give you tail lights and brake lights. I get the meter. That's the brake light terminal. Yep, we got a connection, and that's the tail light. So we're all good there. One more click round, should add the side lights to the thing. So tail lights, side lights, and no headlights because we haven't switched them on yet. So one more click for the headlights, and so on. You get the idea. Ignition side, no connection there, and there shouldn't be. It's switched off. So we'll turn it on. We get a connection. Yeah, lovely. On and off works. And we go on and test all the other bits, oil, light, and so on. Right, here we go with our cables. We've got our cleaned up grommets, cleaned up terminals, and a nice roll of new cable. So, production line starts again. Bit of cable. Strip the insulation off. Twizzle the end up. Dip it in a bit of flux. Slide the new terminal on. Bit fiddly trying to get all the strands up the middle of it. Once we're happy, just hold it in the vise. Don't squeeze too hard, don't want to crush the insulation. And then solder the terminal back on. All we do is simply fill the middle of the terminal with solder and just finish it off at the top. And a nice little finish. Let it cool. Dunk it in a pot of water, cool it right down. Just put the terminal in the vise, give it a little tug, make sure it's soldered on, and then put a little grommet back on. Once again, a bit time consuming. 16 cables to be done in. You can see them laid on the bench there. So the old production line's going. Oh, there we go. Once it's on, quick polish up with a bit of sandpaper, just to get rid of any soot and what have you from the soldering. Yeah, that'll do. Next. Don't always go right. I got a bit enthusiastic with the solder on this one, so that'll have to get redone again. No problem. Just cut the terminal off and drill it out and so on. Anyway, cable identifiers. We use printable heat shrink. So you print the machine, print the labels off, cut them into little pieces for each individual cable, and then comes the fiddly bit. You've got to try and actually fit them to the cable. So firstly, get a little screwdriver down the end of it, open it up from where it's been flattened in the printer. That's this on, slide up to the end of the cable. I'm doing this in the house where it's nice and warm. You can't be doing this sort of thing with cold fingers. You just can't feel what you're doing. So, but they're nice and clean anyway, so we're not making a mess. There we go. That's the convoy one. That's for the convoy light. And a couple more to do to finish. As I say, it's heat shrink. So once they're all on, quick warm up with the fag lighter just to shrink them on tight. Make sure they're going to stay in place. Now, let's fit the cables back into the pot. First job, fit them into them grommets. Doesn't really matter exactly which hole in the grommet it goes through. It does matter which grommet the cables go in, because that back plate only fits one way round. So you got all the headlamp and light wires go into one side, and all the other cables like the starter and the ignition go into the other side. So fitting the headlight wires first, they're a bit of a pain because they actually solder onto the back of the switch. And I'll be honest, soldering's not exactly my forte, and I always find it hard work. And I never seem to get it looking quite nice. It's always mucking about. So get it in the terminal, get the soldering iron, bit of solder. And then I seem to spend ages trying to get enough heat into it, and it just doesn't want to go. But we get there in the end. Just try and tidy that up a little bit. It never looks very good when I've soldered something together. Once it's on, give it a little tug. Yeah, might not look brilliant, but you're not going to see it. It's inside anyway. Most important thing is getting the right cable on the right terminal. And I did get the side lights wrong at one point. I had to unsolder them and resolder them on the proper terminal. But at least I noticed while I'd still got all the back off. Once the headlight's done, fit the other cables to the other side. These are much easier to do with the little screw top terminals. Again, just make sure you got exactly the right cable. Trim the end off. I'm bending the cable back over the insulation here, because the holes in the terminal where the cable fit through are quite large, and doing it like that, it gives the screw a bit more to bite into. I think might make it a little bit more secure. Again, it's a bit fiddly trying to get it lined up with the hole. I'm trying to bend the cable to the right shape so it goes around the corner. Eventually it goes in. Screw goes in behind it to lock it in. Job done. And the next one. Once they're all in, now comes the really interesting bit. Then you get that cables back in the back plate. And then of course remember, I haven't fitted the gasket on. Fortunately though, it's a stretchy rubber one and it will fit over the top. Line it up with the little studs, that goes on, and then we begin the interesting process, pulling all them cables through the back plate and getting them in on the grommets. I won't bore you with that, we'll just sort of speed that up a bit, otherwise we'll be here all day. Got the screws going on the back plate all the time, and then steadily feed the grommet right the way down, push it down, lock it in with its locking ring. Once they're all in, we best give it another test to make sure it all works. First thing we're going to test, make sure nothing's shorting out on the case. I've got the earth lead on the meter poked in the ignition switch there and just running through. Now we look at the individual wires. So I'm doing the ignition here. Have we got a connection? And so on. They nearly all worked. Some of them didn't. So we had to have the back off again. And inside, there's this little buzz bar's got a crack in it, right by that white arrow. I don't remember seeing that before. So maybe I did that when I was putting the cables in. But still, I managed to put a bit of solder on it and get it back together, and we're all good. Everything works, so we can fit the back plate on, and there we are, pretty much all done. New cables, new paint, everything's cleaned up, everything works. 2 new lenses on the front there, so a big shout out to my mate Simon who got them for me. That little starter switch much better, and I've got the ignition barrel fitted as well, which is a little safety feature I wanted to do. So that's all done, except for the little stickers that go on to show you what's what. And I've got a set of them coming from a friend at the Austin Champ Owners Club, so we'll get them on later. Yeah, been somewhat different, hasn't it? Makes a change from scraping rust and dirt off of big lumps of iron, and it's kept us out of the winter weather for a couple of days. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Do tick the like and subscribe boxes. It encourages me to do more. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in part 16. Bye for now.